Oh, would you look at that? It's the next one. Okay, so as I was saying in the last video, we're going to use waypoints as our main source of entrance. So that way, if we ever need to, we can emergency use these. So we'll go ahead. There's two different ways of doing this. So this is the way that's not as fun. So if you do this, name for trigger, this is Sarah to Tyson. So KSRH to KTYS. Right, so you can set it on waypoint alpha. So that's here. Spherical radius makes it easier on the player. But this is the problem. If you use this, every single player will be triggered, and not actually triggered, maybe triggered, but every player will then receive the GPS system for this, and we don't want that. We want only the player, and this was my original thought process for the last map. We only want one player to have this. So what I did was set up target unit, but I had to do that for every single one of these. We don't want to do that anymore. So what did we learn? We learned this. So we don't actually have to use waypoints. That's the way you use them if you want to kill yourself. It takes about 3,000 mouse inputs to finish this all. And I don't like that. And you probably don't want to do that either. So I'm going to teach you the easy, simple way. So we'll delete this. You go to trigger. You send. Here it is. Okay. Had to think about it for a second. Conditional. You set it to conditional. Unit. It's always one of the unit lists. I always forget which one. Unit list. Select all, except for Gary, because Gary's an AI. Number of people near, number of people alive, correction, is greater than 5. So, what does that do? It means if there are 5 people that are alive, it won't trigger. But if there are 6 people that are alive, then all these waypoints will be sent. So you click system yet again, send path to GPS. This is the thing though, because it will always send it to every player. So the way we want it is sending each of them, each of the waypoints we make, paths that we make, and it will designate them itself. So 2, 3, and these numbers are just the ones that you'll see on the actual GPS target. It's not actually relevant and pertinent information. It's just so that all the paths get sent to different areas. That way it's not all in one area, and then it looks like a giant spider web of information. We don't want that. So then, once 4 people are alive, or 6 people are alive in any of the jets, helicopters, all that, then this will start, and that means that it will send all the GPS targets to every player on the map. Now, does this mean that you'll have to make do without them until 6 people arrive? Yes. And that is unfortunate, but there is no other way. But one way we can actually counter this is if we do, and actually I don't know why I named it that, so, because this will just send all of them. So we'll do GPS start 1. So this is after 6 people are alive. Now, if we do the new trigger, we'll name this GPS input start. Now, it says input because we're going to make it a conditionally active thing that the player needs to start to send it. And this will send all of it. So once ATC 8 is, let's see, what do we want to make this? Locking target. Oh, all right. So what we can do is if we set unit, new unit, first let's get over to ATC 8. That way you can see what I'm talking about. So ATC 8, I usually am the first ATC. So this will probably be where I sit majority of the game. But when ATC 8, aka the host, targets this, I'm gonna place this somewhere where ATC 8 can see it. When the ATC targets, let's see. We'll make it something that makes sense. All right. So when ATC 8 targets this, then what will happen? Go into the events, input start. ATC 8, locking target, storage tent, method, TGP. So when they have their targeting pod set on this, then it will start to send them as well. So again, what do? Click system, send path, group 1, 2, 3, 4, system, send path, 2, send the second path, send path, and so on and so forth. I'm just saying it out loud, that way I know which one I'm clicking for. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and save this. And you have to have your events enabled. If you don't have them enabled, they won't start no matter what you do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna launch this. And I'm gonna select ATC 8. And it should launch it as same as it would. I just put it on my headset fully, so you're gonna hear me a little bit clearer now, or a little bit louder, whichever one it is. I don't really care. You're still getting the information, so figure out how to keep your parents from thinking you're watching porn. You're welcome. I am glad that this whole thing loads a lot quicker than the last one, because it'd be stuck on the last one. I know it doesn't load quite as quickly as a regular map, but it would be stuck like your stepsister, right about there. A little bit beforehand, right where the land meets it. But it'd be stuck there for a while, like a while. That's why I decided to go a little bit less heavy on it. So this time we're actually using better tactics for it. So yeah, but it's just a process. You gotta get into it. You gotta start using it. And remember, I believe our ATC tower is still active because it's a cold start or hot start. Yep, there it is. And that's why we did it. So if we turn this up, we have our GPS targets. There's nothing there. One second, I gotta turn off the S-cam. Smooth. There we go. Okay, so if you see, we don't have any GPS targets. There's a tent down there. I'm gonna use TADS. There we go. And then you'll see that's the path for that. And then we can actually go to the navigation console. And there you go. And it'll go through all of them, so long as you click path. Or actually, it should automatically click path. There's Tyson back to Sarah. And then we have Steven to Tyson. Or no, Tyson to Steven, Steven to Tyson. There we go. And then we're going to add Sarah to Steven and Steven to Sarah. But each of them is their own designated path. And then this is a secondary. So once you get 6 people in, more people are going to spawn, but they'll be like, oh, hey, where are all the groups? I don't have all that. So what I can do is I can set up different objects around the area for each person to hit. And when they hit it, they'll get their own. And actually, I'm the smartest motherfucker you'll ever see, because I just thought of something. Whenever someone targets that, they get their own setup. Perfect. And then all those hangars are going to be for the actual airliners, quote, quote. And they'll be all nice and spiffy. So if we go down here, turn off our brake lock. Set forward. Oh, excuse me. But if we come down here, we can now see what the fruit of our efforts is in real time. These damn bridges. And then this is more of a quality check than anything. You can see the imperfections firsthand. Obviously, you need your headset for it, but you can see everything firsthand, and you can check on it. See if there's anything you need to fix. And that's a lovely, lovely part of this. So then whip around. There's the ATC tower. I saw a little something down here, so I'm going to have to check it out. All the taxi paths should be cleared. These are 4-way streets, so they should be able to... Yeah, you should be able to just straight up taxi across without any problems. And also there's no collision in the game, but, you know, it's part of the realism. There it is. There it is. Okay, so note to self. We have to fix this. And another thing is that you can feel how rough something is just by driving over it. See? That scraping, that is bad. We don't like that. Because remember, we saw this from a bird's eye view of God. Alright? So we don't see all this from the perspective of people. And what we've discovered is everything is really fucking big. And I know I went over the timeline, but we're going to make this another 20 minute. But you can see everything. There's our bridge. Turn our parking brake back on because we're going to go back up. There's our bridge. You know, a little thing to fly underneath if you feel like it. And then another thing you can check when making your map is the sight lines on your spawns. If there's any issues with that. A lot of you will be making maps in terms of PvE lobbies and PvP. those are a lot simpler. I'm just choosing the most difficult one because I have to set up all these frickin' paths. Because in those ones, you'll be shooting down targets, so you don't have to actually path them to anything. With mine, you have to. So, simple as that. This is the hardest you could possibly make it. But another thing we do while we're up here is we take our setup, check the sightlines. And you hop out. It'll do its thing. Select. And there's more useful things you can learn as well. You can learn that all these have the correct equipment. That was one of the issues with the first map. I set everything to have no equipment, but some of them ended up having missiles. And we don't like that. I'm going to add fire control radar on some of these helis. Some people wanted them. So there we go. So let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. All right, so we got 28 people. That's a pretty hefty lobby. So we'll go ahead and mark it down. This is all very useful information. By the way, I just took my headset off again. But this is all very important information that we can get from each of these. And reason being, because when you go to make edits, you got to have, you know, the correct information. That way you know what's going on. And realistically, I think I've made like 6, 7 videos at this point. And none of them are... Oh, sorry, I just got a message. But, sorry for that interruption, but I've made this in an hour. Actively, I've made this in an hour. This entire thing. So, with a little bit of determination and a little bit of an understanding about what you're doing, hopefully you'll be able to make your own maps. I'm still learning the AI sequencing. I've been spending the last couple hours doing AI stuff for trying to get it to land at a different airbase. My current theory is to have it take off with a very low fuel and then have it RTB at the destination. But for now, yeah, each of these is doing pretty good. But that'll be all for this video. We'll go ahead and continue this in a little bit because I got to take a break, honestly. But no, yeah, so far so good. Hopefully you guys are understanding what it is that you're looking at. If not, that sucks, and I'll make another map, hopefully answering your questions. And yes, you heard me correctly. I'll make an entire separate map after all these videos go up. And I know there's no tutorials or anything, so I'll probably make a tutorial series as well. So let's go ahead and fix this really quick. And I just remembered that's for the mission editor. Okay. All right, so that's everything. So I'll go ahead and see you guys in a little bit. But for now, have a good rest of your day.